Hey friends, it's Jenny, and I am back at it with the Didi's Deluxe Bead Box for June, Candy Blooms. Tomorrow, actually, this box is going to be revealed at 9 a.m. And at the same time that the July box is revealed, the August box becomes available to order. That's at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And the link in the description is going to take you to the landing page for these boxes. So you'll be able to see the actual photo of this box, as well as the pre-order, which is, don't put in a different box that shows beads. It's going to be a little cartoon version of Stella's face. If Stella's face isn't in your cart, it's not the right box when you're ordering the August edition. So July edition, watch for that video tomorrow, but I like to do a video within a day or two of the release and reveal day using the previous box. Now, I absolutely love the June box, but some of you may not know, if you usually only come and watch my videos when it's Didi's content, that I injured my back a couple of weeks ago. And so I have had limited studio time in the last few weeks. So I really wanted to come back and play with this box again before the reveal date, so I could remind all of you about that. Mark your calendars, set an alarm, whatever you need to do. They do sell out. It's not a subscription, but it is a monthly curation, and when it's gone, it's gone. So I do recommend that you go ahead and check that out right away. But also, I wanted to make with this. Now, I don't have a big make. I'm going to have all of this. I'm still going to come back and revisit at a later date, but I did pull out some beads to make a little Candy Blooms dangly earring for all of you. I've got it against my dish because it's really hard to show you like how it dangles when it's you know, hanging this way, right? Y'all can't see that, but here you go. And so let's get out all of our supplies for this. So from the box, we are going to be using one of these beautiful check glass gold wash floral coins. There were 3 of them in that Inspired by Check strand, and I'm using 2 for this design. That means I still get to have another one to play with later. I am using 7, and this is for each lucite, or each earring. I'm using 7 of these lucite flowers, and I just got 1 of each of the 3, from what I can see, different kind of colorways. So we've got like that full rainbow. Oh, and one of our other supplies. You're going to need 7 of the little lilac glass pearls. These little guys. We're going to be using them with that. And we're going to be using, oh, there's my other lucite flower. Now there's 7 there. And we're using 2 of these little faceted crystals. I think they were the rose pink faceted crystal glass, the little 8 millimeters. Additional supplies you'll need an ear wire. I'm choosing gold to go with all of this. 6 4mm jump rings, 7 pins. I choose to use a 24 gauge pin so I can make rolled loops. They're just a 24 gauge brass pin that is nickel free. And then as an extra tool, you're going to need 1 additional pin. I recommend doing one that is a stronger gauge, like this one. This one's a 21 gauge stainless steel. We're going to be using it as a tool, not actually incorporating it in the design. And then also for tools, we're using my flush cutters and my pliers set, the round nose, chain nose, and bent chain nose pliers. You can use whatever pliers you want for that second set of pliers. I like to use the bent chain nose because they hold things and get out of the way at the same time. So that's why I like to use that one. And then one more material we are using, I know the label has worn off down here. This is a 20 gauge gold silver plated craft wire from Softlex. It is a dead soft wire. If you prefer, you can use medium temper or German style, whatever is going to work best for you. In fact, let's go ahead and use this first and make our link that we're going to do here. We're just going to make our link, and it's just one of those little faceted rose crystals, the coin. Make sure your coin will fit. Sometimes check glass is a little tight on 20 gauge. and then another little faceted rose crystal. And then we're just going to make a standard link with simple loops. Start with a nice flush cut. The way I make my links, I always start flush because of the way I cut them later. And then just pinch that end between the jaws of your round nose plier. I go about 1/4 to 1/3 of the way down for the size loop I like. And just rotate that until the metal meets metal. Open the jaws, swing them behind, close them a little bit, and then give a little twist. What that does is it centers that loop above the wire. Just move your beads up and cut about a finger's width down with the flush or flat part of your flush cutters towards the spool. That way your next work that you do is going to have a flush cut, because this guy's going to get another trim anyway, so why waste the flush cut, right? And then I'm going to be doing these as parallel loops. So I just make sure that I can see this loop here, and it currently opens to my left. So I'm just going to take this wire at the top. I'm just bracing my thumbnail. I'm not pressing with it. I'm using my finger to bend down that wire over that top bead. It twisted a little bit when I did it, so I'll show you how to fix that in a little bit. But I bend it to the right. That way when I do this loop, then they'll open on the same side of the link. It's just something I like to do. With the way that this is going to hang, it actually isn't going to matter because the loops are going to be showing rather than the straight lines. You're just going to take your flush cutters, and this time flush cut towards your work, about a centimeter's worth. I actually do a tiny bit less, but that's just the spot where I like to cut my loops to get them about the same size. And then again, because we've got that bent over already, now when we rotate this and bring it back to where that metal meets metal, it will already be centered and we won't need to do that little knockback thing. So then you're going to take 2 sets of pliers and put 1 loop in each. And remember, I told you it twisted when I started to actually do it. This is how you fix it. So while you're holding it in this way, just move 1 of those pliers so that you are then parallel and it's a straight line. And while you are having this, I'm holding the left one on the left a little awkwardly. I'm usually holding it the other direction. Just give them good little squishes, and that helps to work hard in the loops that we just made. We will be tightening these loops a little bit when we actually attach things to them. So if there's small gaps, don't worry about it right now. We'll close that in a little bit. So then let's make our dangles, and I'm going to demonstrate on one, and then movie magic is going to happen and they'll all be ready. So what we're doing for our dangles is we are just taking one of these little 4mm lilac glass pearls and one of the lucite flowers, and we're trimming about a centimeter off the end of this because I only want 2 rolls, not 3. I don't want them to be that thick. Because what we're going to do to roll this loop, go ahead and take your round nose pliers in about the same position as we were doing before. You're going to go ahead and do this. Right now this wire is straight because I found when I learned how to make rolled loops, several people do it, but when I was trying to figure out how best to center it, I experimented what worked or didn't work for me. If I bend it first, then it unbends itself. If I try to bend it after, I worry about breaking the bead. So what I do when I roll my loops is I go ahead and get it started here, hold it against my finger to kind of help keep everything steady as I just open and close and twist that just a little bit each time. And then when I get about this far from the end, I'm going to go ahead and take those beads, bring them all the way down, and then bend that wire across the back, and then, whoops, usually that doesn't come loose, and then finish that roll. Then you have a nice centered loop above your dangle. So hang on just a second, and I'll have all of these other ones ready to go. Ta-da! And now we have 7 dangles. Just keeping it nice and easy. So this is the part that gets a little bit tricky as we assemble this. If you've already done dangles before, this is no big deal to you. I'm kind of channeling my friend Colleen while I'm doing this because I don't do this style of earring very often, and so I definitely played with it a little bit. And I do see a lot of metal. If you don't like to see a lot of metal, you might do more flowers, but I felt like 7 was good. I did consider going ahead and changing the order that I did all of the flowers, but I like the balance I got here, where like these two that are kind of blue toned but not exactly the same aren't right next to each other, and so on. So I am just going to follow the same color pattern I did before. Let's just set this here so I can see what I'm doing. And y'all can see that too. That's our little example of what we're doing. Now this is a little bit finicky bit. If you want to use larger jump rings, you can, if the 4 are difficult to work with. But I am going to use the 4mm jump rings and my 2 sets of pliers. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just put on our first flower. On this earring, it was this one that was the blue and purple with more blue. And I'm just putting it on this jump ring. Okay, pretty easy there. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up another jump ring. That pin is going to come into play here in just a moment. And I'm going to put on my next link, which was this kind of fuchsia colored flower, and then make sure that I go through the jump ring that I had previously attached, and then close this. Now, a little trick that I saw my friend Colleen do that was really helpful, as long as you don't let it slide off the pin, is you can, if you want to take keep track of where your top jump ring is, just put a pin through it like this and set that aside. So now I'm going to open my next jump ring, and this time I am adding, what color am I adding next? I think that orange one. Yeah, the orange one. So what I was doing, and I don't know if it matters because I'm probably not paying attention to which direction I'm putting things on, is I'll put on, for example, this orange one, and then when I put on this pin, or this thing, I'm making sure that orange one is like where there's a gap in flowers, if that makes sense. Oh, come on, hook on. It didn't hook on. So this is the kind of tricky bit. There we go. So we used that to hook that on there. Get that closed. And then now this becomes our next top jump ring, like that. Nice little strategy. And then we've got our next flower, I think is the pink one. Let me check which hangs lower. Yep, the pink. Oh, see what I mean about don't let it slip off? But I know that my orange one was the last one. So I'm looking for the jump ring that is attached to the orange and another jump ring. And I am slipping this on there. Come on. It can help, but it is not foolproof. You can also just pick it up and hold it by the last flower that you did. Like this, whatever your last flower was, hold it by that and it'll kind of stretch that out and put that jump ring there. I've been playing with a couple of different strategies. You can do whichever one seems to work best for you. Since we are using different colors, it is easier to keep track of what was put on last. When you're doing this with all the same color or similar colored, it might be more difficult to keep track of which was which. So our next one should be this darker purple, the blurple that's more purple. And you can do them in whatever color order you want. I just figured I would want them to feel similar. So I'm just going to pick this up by the pink one because I didn't use my pin that time, and just use that to kind of stretch that jump ring between the dangle and the most recent flower and get that added in. Oh, except I didn't have this came off. Haha, don't forget to add your flower. Come on. Yes, don't forget to add your flower, very important. I was like, this isn't right. Okay. trying this method again, especially now that it's kind of getting bigger, a little bit more unwieldy. So a couple of different methods to try, friends. Don't feel like that's quite closed all the way. Hang on. And it is important just to make sure that all of your little jump rings are closed nice and securely so you don't have gaps. That went right through. Oh, the one I was using must have had a bigger head earlier. It didn't catch it. Okay, so yeah, that's the top. That's the jump ring. Okay. All right. Now you notice we've got 2 dangles left and only 1 jump ring. That is by design, my friends. That is by design, because when I did this and I did my prototype, when I was nearing the top, it felt a little bit more bare. Like I said, you can see a little bit more of like that metal space coming. And so I actually put my last 2 flowers on the same jump ring. So it doesn't matter which is which. I'm not really trying to mirror them because I'll kind of swing around and do whatever. But we're gonna put on our green one. And then we're gonna put on our dangle, the whole pile of flowers. Oh, that worked nicely that time. See, it can work very nicely. And then this kind of aqua colored blue. Here we go. And then we're gonna give this a close. And we really wanna make sure that we are at the top of our dangle, our cascade of dangles. Put that pin through, that's holding our place at the top, because now we're going to open our link. And I'm just gonna swing this open, one end of this link, pick up our dangle, and we're going to use it, sorry, I probably pulled that a little bit close to me, to loop it onto, I just lifted it and looped it onto that bottom loop, and then just swing this closed. And this is where you want to make sure that if you did have a gap earlier when you were making your simple loops, this is where you can close it by just pressing in a little bit as you swing that closed. And then open this top like this to attach our ear wire. And that is it. So this has been a quick tutorial. Like I said, I am recovering, so I'm trying to pace myself. There's a lot of content I'm needing to get out, and I'm trying to maybe do some simpler designs or not a full set where you might usually see a little bit more from me. But you know, sometimes a short, sweet tutorial is perfect. And we have this lovely, lovely pair of dangly, definitely candy blooms going on up in here. Earring set using the June Didi's Deluxe Bead box. And don't forget that the reveal for July, and you'll see a video for that here on this channel, but the video for July is going to be posting, I usually do it about half hour later, just in case there's some delays on the website. So about 9:30 Eastern time, you'll see that video here, but the August box will become available to pre-order at 9 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday, July 12th. That always happens on the 12th at 9 a.m. every month. So set yourself a reminder or an alarm, and yeah. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video with these little dangly dudes full of fun, bright candy colors. And because they're lucite flowers, it's a lot of beads, but very light. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, hit like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, my friends, happy beading, and don't forget to play. Bye.